Science isn't that objective anyway. It may be attempting to tell us about reality, but there's all sorts of presuppositions at work in scientific work, and drawing on the Kuhnian revolution, you know, the structure of scientific revolutions, maintaining that while science might intend to tell us about reality, it's much more ambiguous in what it's actually saying than individual scientists often recognize.
I'm wondering what Locke's problem was with the Wesleyan.
He seems to think that the enthusiasts accept as revelation sorts of private intuitions they get, which are not checkable at all by reason. Yeah, they're not amenable to rational checks because they're private. They're not public. I was reading yesterday an essay that Dr. Sarah Miles has in the latest issue of Perspectives, which is the Journal of the American Scientific Affiliation. I think it's the December issue. January, you think is the latest? No, well, this was in the December issue. In which she is talking about the science and theology debate as it was in the 18th century, and has a final section in which she talks about the enthusiasts and particularly about Wesley. Take a look at that. That says enough. I think the more that you have to say is about the provisionality of science, the fact of scientific change, the fact that science is not the kind of objective, empirically certain thing which it was thought to be back in Locke's day. But, and then there are problems that we have to recognize here as well with hermeneutical questions that are much more complex than they were thought to be back in Locke's day. So I think Locke's made a good start, but didn't realize the complexity of the problems involved. And I don't think the complexity of those problems in interpreting nature and interpreting revelation could be seen as clearly until the emphasis on human subjectivity in science and in interpreting texts had surfaced, as it's now surfaced by the 20th century, which is why theories of interpretation are so crucial. Yes, sir?
Is there any justification why switches aren't employed and why not?
Is there in Locke, you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
No, I don't know that he goes into that at any juncture. You know, he's not writing apologetics.
because I mean, he states it's a source of revelation, but
Yeah.
why that over something?
Yeah. I'm asking myself, if Locke does not give an argument for the claim that the Bible is revelation, how would a Lockean argue for it, you see? And I think the Lockean could argue in at least two ways. One, granted we have argued effectively for the existence of a God, personal, rational deity who's capable of self-revelation, there is at least the possibility, the plausibility of there being a revelation. So you have to examine claims to revelation. How do you assess revelation claims? You see? Well, if the content of a revelation contradicts reason, you see, then that would count negatively. If it is in accordance with reason, even if it goes beyond reason, that continues to make it acceptable, viable. Can you strengthen the probabilities then? Well, what about the points where it coincides, where there can be some rational justification? And what you got in British apologetics coming out of the Lockean period was an evidentialist approach to apologetics that I mentioned last time. So the attempt would be to find points within the scripture that we confirmed by historical evidence, so on and so forth. In other words, attempts to ascertain the truthfulness of what the scripture says. This might be done by historical evidence. It might be argued with probability by showing the consistency, the coherence. They developed in the late 19th century an additional procedure that tried to avoid an implicit circularity. You know, if it's revelation, it must be true. It's true, so it must be revelation. No, that doesn't prove it. That's affirming the consequent, you see. And the attempt to avoid that circularity was to say, now, one thing the Bible claims is regarding Jesus Christ, who claims to tell the truth. Not necessarily claims deity at this juncture. It claims to tell the truth. And in the light of that, you assess, is he telling the truth about himself? Now, if so, and he endorses the authority, the revelational authority of revelation, there is at least the possibility, the plausibility of there being a revelation. So you have to examine claims to revelation. How do you assess revelation claims? You see? Well, if the content of a revelation contradicts reason, you see, then that would count negatively. If it is in accordance with reason, even if it goes beyond reason, that continues to make it acceptable, viable. Can you strengthen the probabilities then? Well, what about the points where it coincides, where there can be some rational justification? And what you got in British apologetics coming out of the Lockean period was an evidentialist approach to apologetics that I mentioned last time. So the attempt would be to find points within the scripture that we confirmed by historical evidence, so on and so forth. In other words, attempts to ascertain the truthfulness of what the scripture says. This might be done by historical evidence. It might be argued with probability by showing the consistency, the coherence. They developed in the late 19th century an additional procedure that tried to avoid an implicit circularity. You know, if it's revelation, it must be true. It's true, so it must be revelation. No, that doesn't prove it. That's affirming the consequent, you see. And the attempt to avoid that circularity was to say, now, one thing the Bible claims deity at this juncture. It claims to tell the truth. And in the light of that, you assess, is he telling the truth about himself? Now, if so, and he endorses the authority, the revelational authority of Scripture, then in accepting his authority, you accept the authority of Scripture. Now, that's a line of argument developed by the Princeton theologian B.B. Warfield, you see. Whether it's sufficient, that's one of the questions under debate. But basically, the Lockean influence on apologetics was in the evidentialist direction. How do you justify believing that Scripture is indeed divine revelation? What's the evidence is his question. Last question. I don't think of any particular place where he discusses it. I'll have to check the reasonableness of Christianity. But I can hazard this in the light of the tradition out of which he comes. That the effect of the fall is not so much on the laws of thought as on our capacity to abide by the laws of thought. You see? Not on the laws of thought, that's not us. but on our willingness, emotional, moral capacity to abide by the laws of thought. The prejudice that comes in, the blindness, and so on and so forth. Well, we're going to have to quit. Somebody else is trying to get in.